Call the meeting to order.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call Floyd.
Here.
Dave's absent. Brenda is here. Jimmy
Here.
and Calvin. Gavin, I'm sorry, what did I say? Calvin. Could have been worse. Sorry, nobody's joking tonight, huh? Sorry. So the next thing on the agenda is to approve the minutes.
I make a motion to approve the
I'll second the motion.
So there's a second on the table. All in favor, say aye.
minutes.
Aye. Any negatives? Any nays? So the minutes have been approved. Review and approve the claims. Has everybody had a chance to look over those? Anything on them that's out of the ordinary, Gloria? I don't think so. Let's see. Got the payroll. Refunds from some of the park cabins. Gas. Can you look at that one? Dave sent that. And we got the gas bill.
I got a question.
Yeah,
On this here, 1118, who's your car equipment, general volunteer car, EM?
Where you at? What page?
Next to the last page. Next to the last page. Face shield, $421.40. Is that the one face shield or two?
No, that's for a group of them.
Okay. How many of them was it, you know?
I'd have to look at the claim.
Okay. That's the only question I got on the claim.
So a motion to approve the claims if we have no further questions. Gavin, do you have questions? Floyd, do you have questions? No? I need a motion to approve the claims, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims.
Gavin made the motion. Can I have a second?
I'll second.
Jimmy seconds it. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any nays? No. We approve those. The table is the zoning, and we can take that off because that was through Dunkirk, and they're not gonna link up with us right now.
Can we take it off?
Yeah. He's on the phone. So what's parks? Anything from parks, Gavin?
No.
No. Anything from sewer and water, Ted?
No.
Basically, this is going great. Drinking water side, we've actually had all the chlorine, iron tests, all the tests for 2024, including nitrates, synthetic organic compounds, nitrate and passed. So yeah, drinking water is great. The radio meters, Tressler has actually installed nearly 250 of them, so approximately half the town now has got the radio transmitters, so that the radio transmitter, so that
Okay, all right. Thank you. Sorry.
so that makes so we were actually able to read all the meters in like basically a day and a half, which usually takes about 2 people 2 days to do it. Fire hydrant functioning, that was completed in October. Again, that's required to ensure proper functioning of the hydrants. There's some conflicting data. It looks like there may have been some hydrants flushed in the last 3 years, but according to the data submitted to Choice 1, there hasn't been. So we're trying to figure out what that is, but we have, the hydrants have been flushed for the ones that were due for this year. For the sewer plant, the big thing is there's a long-term control plan. Basically, there's still a lot of stormwater that entering into our sanitation sewer and basically flooding out the sewer plant. So item, we have until December 31st to come up with a plan to eliminate all the stormwater that's infiltrating into our sewer plant. There was two big aspects to this. The first one is public participation. It's a major part. So basically, we're going to see if we can put together a committee. We've identified a few key stakeholders, such as the council president, utilities department head, utility worker, contractor, any other public, any other people that might be involved, want to be involved in this committee are welcome to join. Basically, the committee will be reviewing the plan, figuring out what work has to be done, guide the projects, review the results, and then figure out next steps. So that'll be something that I'll kind of flesh out and present more next meeting. Choice One did have a master utility plan in there. They found, or they identified 4 projects that are, one is on George and Bell. Apparently in that area, they identified that there's a 23-fold increase in water flow in those sewers after rain events. So that tells you that there's a lot of sewer water, storm water that's going straight into the sanitary sewer. It also tells you that there's maybe some other things that are going on. They estimated the cost of replacing those sewers at $2 million. There's 4 other areas that have lesser extents, but still significant increases in water flow during wet weather conditions. Each project, so there's 4 projects, each one kind of averages around $2 million. They did identify that there are OPRA grants that are available, however they require 20% match. So if you're looking at a $2 million project, Redkey has to come up with $400,000. I'm working with Alliance, and we're trying to find other grants that might be available to help cover that extra $400,000. That to see if we can get something going on that. There's also a variety of other smaller projects that Redkey can do in conjunction with Alliance, but also with some help from the public. And that includes smoke testing to try to identify where sanitary sewers, where there's inflow of things like connecting downspouts to the sanitary sewers, sump pumps, broken sewer pipes or cleanouts, etc. So that could be one thing that we can do by ourselves. Disconnecting sewer lines from abandoned houses. It sounds kind of insignificant, but you think about it, a lot of the houses, abandoned houses, they have roofs that are collapsed. All that water is getting in to the house and then finding its way into the sanitary sewer and flooding out the sewer plant. Also things like replacing manhole covers. There's some areas that are prone to flooding. A lot of that water, if it's sitting on the street, it's going to make its way into the sanitary sewer through the manhole. So if we replace them with manhole covers that are more resistant to water inflow, that can also, in the past, proven to be very effective in those communities. But again, this is just a bare bones outline of the plan. I'll flesh out some more stuff and see if I can get something for the next meeting that's a little bit more detail.
They was talk that we got 2 from out there where the aluminum factory's at, that's coming into the creek, which belongs to the county.
Yes, that's 006.
Okay.
I haven't touched on those. That is actually a different animal. I've chatted with Alliance, chatted with some other folks. Basically, the problem is that it does come from the county. It passes through 3 to 5 houses that may be the source of the contaminated water, and then it empties out into Redkey, inside Redkey to the creek. So IDEM says that that's our problem. Obviously, we can't do anything officially about houses in the county. So I've chatted with Alliance. They're trying to look for grant opportunities to see if we can get grants to help those houses repair their septic system or tie into our sewer system. Barring that, we can also contact the State Department of Health and get them to kind of nudge Jay County to do something about it. And if all else fails, we can also basically sue the county under the Clean Water Act for dumping raw sewage inside Redkey Point. Those are things, again, that we're trying to do the soft way first and see if we can get grants and we can get cooperation.
Does
with the
any
county.
of our stormwater in Redkey that we separated, we had to cut our sewer lines? Is any stormwater going into our water plant?
Yes, there is.
Where's it coming from?
It's actually coming right now from Bell and George is one of the biggest areas that it's
So
coming
it
from.
wasn't separated from Bell and George.
These
No,
right
there
here,
has
Jimmy,
been some, yeah,
look on the front page.
there
Look on the front page.
was, yes, there was some separation. There were significant amounts of sewer systems where the sanitary and the storm sewers were separated, but not all of them. And that's what the data that Choice One came up with. Bell and George is showing a 23-fold increase in flow in the sewer after a rain event. So that means that storm water is going into that sanitary sewer at somewhere along Bell and George. And if we, for $2 million, we can dig up that
Well,
street.
We already paid on $4,700,000 in 2017
Yeah.
to separate our stormwaters and our sewer lines. We had to cut our sewer lines, pay Randy Young $50 to come down and see it was cut.
Mhm.
So I thought all the stormwater is still not going.
Nope.
We ran out of money, the way I understand it, we run out of money.
The sewage on Bell Avenue is going into the sewer plant, it's going into the creek, which is,
More than
It's
that.
going
Jimmy.
into it's going into sanitary sewers and it's going in, and then finding its way over to the
Treatment
sewer
plant.
plant. The sewer plant. And so it's flooding out my sewer plant.
So remember them guys that came here and they had them boards set up here?
yeah, I knew
They,
that.
they did a bunch of testing and, well, they used old data is what they did mostly. But these are the things right here on this front page that he's talking about. They said these were, not, there could be other places in our town that have stormwater coming into them, but these were the most significant. Is that correct?
That is correct.
These right here.
Right.
And when we signed that contract to pay them $8.4 million over the next 10 years, I don't know where you were here. If you remember him setting up the board.
I thought we paid $90,000.
We paid him $90,000 to do the survey, to figure out where the problems were. That's what the $90,000 was. Now we have to pay them $8.4 million to fix the problem. And that's over a 10-year span. And these are the places that he's talking about that will be their baby. Is that the way I understand it? This is what they're gonna fix so that it stops causing you issues at the sewer plant. But that has nothing to do with the CSOs though, right?
No, that is the CSOs.
That
Because-
one that's got,
So there's
It's not the
006,
county one.
that 006 is the county one, 007 is the one at the sewer plant. If the water gets too high, we shut off the water going into the plant and raw sewage gets dumped.
so it'll
into the
fix
creek.
that one, but not 06.
06 is a different animal,
Right.
but that should be, well, technically an easier fix because we just, I mean, if we can get some cooperation from the county and some grants.
Which is Brad Daniels. I
Yeah,
think.
it's like 3 to 5 houses. One of them may be causing some,
Right.
maybe having leaky septics. Because all the other connections that from inside Redkey to 006 have been shut off. So there's no,
So it's just
No.
those county ones out by the vet, right?
correct.
Right.
Yes. Mhm.
Right. Are you understanding that, Jimmy?
I thought we bought all new pipes.
We ran out of
We bought all
money.
the sewer plant for $4.5 million. We're paying on it now, 60.
We are, but they ran,
$60,000
the way I understand it is they ran out of money. We can't go back and change what happened back then. I wish we could.
What
I
did
know
they
what
do
you're
back
saying.
then for $4.5
I
million?
don't, we weren't here, we weren't a part of it, but there was not enough money, so the contractors ran out of money. So they did just the sewer plant and they did not work on the pipes in town.
They're supposed to remodel the old sewer plant, but we got 2 sewer plants.
You know, and we can't change what happened. We
What
have
year
to
was
deal
that
with it.
project?
Huh?
What year was that project?
It was 2018, wasn't it?
It finished in 2018.
Yeah.
Part of that $4 million, I believe, went into that the sewer plant update. So you didn't spend $4 million on just separating sewers. You spent $4.5 million
On
on
all.
updating the sewer plant and separating some of the sewer water from the stormwater.
The
We
whole
paid to
project.
separate all the sewers.
that was a part of the, but that was,
Yeah.
when they came and gave us a proposal, they did propose that they would fix those, but when it got, the one guy died, they had to hire another engineer, which cost them extra money. So the money that it cost them to hire another engineer took away from the money that they had to separate the drain lines. So we got stuck with this.
So we didn't pay $4.5 million to separate the sewage and the water, and it's not separated.
We did pay $4.5 million for the sewer plant and some separation, but we ran out of money when the first engineer died and they had to hire another engineer. So they didn't have enough money to do all the line separation.
The presentation.
Or line them. That's why we are stuck with it now.
How much do we owe on $4.5 million from 2017?
I don't know, do you know?
That's one number.
I mean, sorry, 3.7 million.
We still owe 3.7 million?
Correct, on the sewer.
Did you hear that? 3.7 million we still owe. It was like $1 million a year for 40 years or something like that. Is that
I thought
correct?
it was
$80,000 a year?
80,000
Yeah.
Yeah, for 20 years or something.
Oh, I thought it was 40 years.
Okay, maybe
Because of the interest in there. I
Right,
don't know.
yeah,
I
yes.
could not, Gloria can answer that. If you go up there, she can find that
Well, I
information.
got the ordinance.
All right.
Told how much new pipe we had, how much new pipe we had, how much other stuff we had, and everything new. We bought the paid for it.
But the way I understand it, there was like 15 miles of pipe in our town that did not get separated.
I'll do a little presentation just
They didn't separate it?
Yeah, 11 to 15 miles of pipe did not get separated. Okay, go ahead, I'm sorry.
On nicer, better news, so one of the things that we were talking about for a long time is covering the clarifying pits at the sewer plant. During winter, there's motors in there, the sprockets that are outside that freeze when it gets below freezing. So Tressler, there are 3 phases to this project. Phase 1 has been completed. Bill Tressler and one of his employees, whose name rhymes with Brady? Brady? There we go. He doesn't want to be identified. They designed and built these covers on the second page and on the page that has some pink coloring that is covered in snow. So those are the cover. There's 2 pictures of them.
Those are nice.
So that the boxes are actually the covers for the motors that run part of the clarifying pit. Those tend to freeze up. So there's 2 motors. There's 2 boxes. There's also heat lamps in each box, so that gives you. So I'll keep everything nice and warm. Also, it's really hard to see maybe on the second picture on the next page. There's if you look, that's an overhead view of the plant, and so there's there are areas where there's bricks on in front of the boxes where there's bricks on these kind of slats that are covered in snow. Those are additional styrofoam or polystyrene panels that are 1/2 inch thick, so that they were used to cover those boxes, but also they were used to cover some grates that are open out in there. And so that will actually help, apparently, according to Tressler, and also makes sense that when the wind really starts blowing and it's really cold, the wind blows across these clarifying pits and comes up over out of that end of the pits, and really causes a wind tunnel effect. It really cools off everything else and stuff. So by covering that part of the pit, I mean, it's not covering the whole pit, but we got 1/3 of it covered and stuff, and so that should help.
Will those degrade with the wet and the snow that you'll have to replace them every year, or
Yes,
are those going to be
they will be.
reusable?
They will be reusable. If we don't do anything, they will degrade
Okay.
over time. So
Okay.
right now, I mean, it's a stopgap. We needed something, so winter's here. And so, I mean, it was such a thing that I had to put $300 of my own on my credit card in order to buy the supplies in order to get these things done
that's
before
not
winter. So-
No, you have to be.
Well, I mean,
ready.
I'm getting repaired.
Okay,
That's
okay.
part of the reimbursements for this
Okay.
month, so.
Okay.
Okay, so that's the good news about the clarifying pits. There's also equipment updates at the sewer plants. There are UV lights that we don't need in the wintertime because IDEM says we don't need to treat for bacteria, so we pulled those and they are nice and snug and warm in one of the buildings. There's an oxidation ditch with 6 belts. I replaced, actually I have the summer oil taken out of the gearboxes there. and replaced with the winter oil, so all ready with that. But there are 6 belts that need replaced. I have the belts, but I haven't replaced them yet. And then on the next page, and on the page that looks like some weird robot things over here.
That looks good.
Oh, thanks. I took
Sure
a picture
does.
myself. So these are some other pumps that they're called RAS pumps. They also had belts on them that were original from 2018. So we bought new belts and replaced them. And actually on the belt that you see on the foreground, that's the closest one to us, you can see on the bottom on the white, that there's some black material there. That's actually degraded material from the previous belt because they just wear over time, and it's been 6 years. So it's a good thing that we got those guys replaced. And also, just out of curiosity, if anybody's interested, on the top, on the back, on the right, there are 4. They're actually, those are the valve actuators that I was talking about in June, July. Those are the ones that were burning out because they were set to cycle at like once open and close every 90 seconds. So those are the ones that we had to replace 2 of those valve actuators every year because they were just burning out. So those are now set to be open at various levels, and they just stay open all the time. The plant is running great. I had to do some testing and additional things and stuff just to make sure that to find the sweet spot, but that's all working well, and that's why we can now save $10,000 a year by not having those guys replaced.
Thank you. Yeah. Yes, Ted has done a great job out there. He's done a lot of things to save the town quite a bit of money. Can you tour one of these days? You should
I
be
like
there.
the pictures too, you can see,
Yeah.
you know, when he's talking, I can't imagine. And with the pictures, I like that, yes.
If anybody wants to come down take a tour, just let me know. It doesn't snow. That's what
That's
I'm
right.
saying. It does not snow.
Anything at the water plant though, yeah, that was the sewer plant, but anything going on at the water plant, everything's good at the water plant.
Everything's good. We actually do have to get that master meter. I forgot to put that in there. And stuff
Mag
like
meter.
that. The mag meter. That is something that that Alliance identified 3 years ago. I just haven't had a chance to really look into that yet.
Okay.
But
There is one thing is that I've been having to go to Walmart and get jugged water Ted has to have distilled water to do the testing at both the water plant and the sewer plant. And so I'm gonna look into seeing if we can't use the Walmart credit card and just have it delivered out there instead of me going to Walmart. Last time, I got 30 jugs the last time at one time. That's a lot of running, and that don't even last about a month because he has to use so many of them.
Is there a way we could get like a 50-gallon barrel or like a larger quantity?
some of the reagents that I have to make up are in you need a gallon jug. So it's because I have looked into bigger ones, but it's not feasible.
I'm gonna look into seeing if we can't get it on a recurrent delivery for you with the Walmart credit card, if that's okay with the council. Everybody okay with that?
Yeah.
Floyd? Okay. To the police, John Cave is doing a great job, and we have 4 applicants here that we're gonna have to have we're gonna have to decide on what day you guys want an executive meeting, so that we can do some interviews for another officer, but Mr. Cave had to leave, and I would really like for him to be a part of that, so I might have to call you guys at home and see what day after I talk to him, and see what day would be best for you guys to do that so that we can interview someone. And then with the streets, I'm really proud. I want to thank Choice One. We did qualify for the CCG grant that was diligently worked for. We were granted $167,000 for next year's street paving. And I went to the regional meeting on last Monday, and they said that it is for streets, but you can use it for a few other things in there. So whatever it is, we will utilize that to the fullest. And we have a whole list of roads. I think there's 10 roads that's going to be paved next year. So, and then because we have to do it a year in advance, they said that we would be able to start incorporating some sidewalks into that.
especially on the most used route for kids that go to school. So we're gonna have to look into where the most kids come from and see where the sidewalks are needed the most, but I'm trying to work on that. Also with streets, we have a sinkhole on Highway or State Route 1 and Sheridan. It's opened up about that big in the middle. You can actually see way down in there, and then about basketball size, it's starting to sink in. So I did get a hold of the Highway of Transportation today, and they made it an emergency, what do I want to say, an emergency situation, and they will be coming within the next 2 weeks to fix that. We did put out a orange barrel, but somebody seemed to plow over it and just crushed it. So that's another thing. I do want to know if we need, every year we approve 8 pallets of salt to salt the roads with. We don't get 8 pallets delivered. We get 2 pallets at a time delivered, but we go ahead and approve in council 8. So if I can have a motion to approve 8 pallets of salt.
Do we pay for 8 of them?
We don't pay for
Get
them.
two?
We pay for them 2 at a time, and they deliver 2 at a time, but that way we don't have to come call an emergency meeting and say, can I get 2 more, or can I get 2 more? So
Okay.
we
I'll
approve
make a
8.
motion to approve 8.
Okay,
I second the
Jimmy seconds it. All in favor say aye.
Uh,
Aye. Any nays? Good. Alright.
The pallets, I don't know how much are the pallets, did you get?
I do, it's through Mr. Corwin. And, just a second here, let me look at this, cause I got him on here, I can't remember off the top of my head. Cause I talked to too many stinking people. Corwin. It's like $245 for the pallet per pallet.
How many bags is on that pallet?
There's 60-pound bags the way I understand it, and I think there's 10 per pallet.
600 pounds of salt?
I think so, yeah. I'll get that printed off and give everybody a copy of that. What's that?
Is that amount appropriated already then?
That's what they do every year, but that was the quote that he gave me, so it should be set in stone. Is that what you're asking me?
Do we have any now?
If
We
the line
have-
item you're gonna spend it out of, you've
Is it
already
appropriate?
appropriated enough funds to cover it if we need to move anything.
There is funds to cover it, yes, in the streets, under
Streets.
streets, yes.
Could have some left over from last
We
year.
do have a little bit, but Bill said it was enough to get us started, but not enough that if we got, quite a bit of ice or whatever, that we would be covered. Our contracts will be coming up next month. We'll have to, Bill wants to talk to us about his contract, and then we'll revote his contract. So, let's see, that's the contracts. Renewal of employee insurance with United Healthcare. I don't know anything about that.
I got a thing for you here.
Okay.
The current rate, it looks like the medical rate, is an increase of 15.9%.
Is this for employees? Okay.
We pay the employees' insurance for them. This year, we paid $1,112.50 a month for each employee. Next year, it will be $1,287.50. And at this time, the only one we have on it is Todd, because Ted doesn't take it, I don't take it, Billy doesn't take it, and John doesn't take it. So
Okay.
we have one person on it.
And that was Tom?
And Todd is done.
He's done.
Todd turned in his resignation today, so today was his last
So
day.
whoever we hire, if they take it, then
Ask him before we hire.
Jimmy.
Are you old enough to get free insurance?
you
Just
want
like how
all,
much do you cover of the premium?
we pay it all. That's for the person,
But
that's
we-
for the employee. But if they want their family, they have to pay it.
Yeah, we only do it for the individual, not for
Yeah.
family. So, and
How
then,
much was it again?
The new rate will be $1,287.50, up 15%, it said.
So from 1,000 what to 1,000 what?
From $1,112.50 to $1,287.50.
Now, if you don't have nobody on there, you have to pay it, or you still gotta pay it.
No, we don't have to pay it.
So that's $175.
Right?
Yeah, because, well, then, Randy was on it and he left. Trying to think who else, I'd have to look at, yeah. And then Boggs was on it and he
That
left,
was one.
you know, and then Todd got on it, so. And then Sack, he had it, we paid his.
So that's a $175 increase from last year to this year, per person, if
On
they
the
take
month?
it. Yeah, per month,
Yeah.
yeah.
We need to.
And then we need to talk about the Redkey Fire Department contract.
Yeah. Since I know you guys don't have an actual copy in front of you, I'll just read through it. It's not that long. This agreement is made and entered into this day by and between the town of Redkey, Indiana, and Indiana Municipal Corporation, called Redkey, and the Redkey Volunteer Fire Department, collectively the parties. Whereas pursuant to Indiana Code 36.8.12.3, Redkey may enter into an agreement with the fire department for firefighting service. And whereas the parties desire to enter into this agreement for firefighting services and to spell out the terms and conditions of that agreement, now therefore in consideration of the above recitals and other good and valuable consideration, the receipt of which is hereby acknowledged, the parties agree as follows. Term, this agreement shall become effective January 1st, 2025 and remain in effect until December 31st, 2025. This agreement shall continue in full force and effect for subsequent one-year terms unless terminated as set forth herein. Either party may terminate this agreement with or without cause with 90 days notice unless an earlier termination date is mutually agreed upon. Any subsequent agreements with differing terms and conditions should state that it replaces and supersedes this agreement or shall be done simply as an amendment to this current agreement. Staffing and services and duties of the parties. Redkey shall procure insurance coverage in the amounts and types required by Indiana Code 36.8.12 to cover the fire department and its volunteers and shall pay those premiums as set forth below. The fire department shall adequately staff its department in order to provide the appropriate level of firefighting service to Redkey. This includes, but is not limited to, having all members on call 7 days a week, 24 hours a day during the term of the agreement. The fire department shall purchase, maintain, and utilize adequate firefighting equipment and apparatus to save the private and public property of Redkey from destruction by fire. Payment. As consideration for this agreement, pursuant to Indiana Code 36.8.12.4, Redkey agrees to pay to the fire department $26,063 in one lump sum no later than December 31st of 2025, which includes clothing and mileage allowances and for general operating expenses and consideration. Then also Redkey agrees to pay on behalf of the fire department directly an additional $29,900, which includes insurance premiums. And we're gonna get that exact number and plug it in from the insurance rep, but we think it's around $9,000 to $10,000 of that is for the required insurance. Lastly, authorizations. This agreement was reviewed and approved by the Town Council of Redkey at a properly noticed public meeting. The expenditures herein have been or will be appropriated by the Town Council of Redkey, and the fire department affirms that it has taken all necessary actions to approve this agreement, and that its chief is authorized to sign on behalf of the department. Do you have any questions?
So we're paying $26,300 for insurance?
No.
We're paying $29,200 for insurance?
No. Insurance is roughly $9,000 to $10,000. And it's in that total chunk of $29,900
So
that goes to the department on the department's behalf. I want to get this right, where's your budget line item?
I'm trying to.
That basically covers maintenance, repairs, other things like that.
Supply, paper repairs,
26, yeah,
And now on our bills, we've been paying for all the fire department's bills. We paid $1,100 some for their thing. All the bills from the
It
fire
comes out of
department.
the-
That's what got 29.
Yeah, that $29,900 is stuff the town is paying directly on behalf of the fire department.
So then they can't turn in no bills for everything, so $70,000 or nothing like that, right?
Well, Well, if they do
that
it,
will be
come back.
included in that lump sum.
See,
Yeah,
every
that's
month
the
I
amount
break
you're
down.
budgeting to cover on their behalf.
See, we bought $16,643 for air tanks for the fire department this year. Did that come off for 16,000? Did that subtract off the 29,000?
So what you're budgeting in this contract, roughly a third of that's gonna go to insurance. That leaves about $20,000 to cover things like that. If there's
So
some big
that-
expense, I'm sure they're gonna come back to you with a special claim to consider. But
And
that's
the
what
other claims, they will
you're
claim.
agreeing to cover at least 20,000.
So then, if they want to buy anything, they gotta cover it out of that money. Is that right or wrong?
She'll
They
take it.
want, if they want the town to buy something for them, they've got to come to you, but you're agreeing you're gonna buy it for at least that first 20,000.
So we're looking at $55,000.
Total, yes.
total.
So the 29,000 is for things that they need. What was the other $26,000 for?
That is clothing and mileage. It's essentially what actually goes to the firefighters.
This is what we have in the budget to pay the bills.
Alright.
So the clothing, you only have to buy clothes if they want to show a receipt, they got to pay taxes, like the policeman does, is that right?
I don't know about that.
So that's a total of $55,000 that goes to the firemen. Right? Per year, or budgeted, for sure the 26 goes to them
Yeah,
for
that
mileage and
goes
stuff,
to
and
the
then the
whole-
other is
Roughly,
allotted for
yeah,
them for needs.
56,000.
Yeah, right.
This will pay bills.
Are you understanding that?
Well, as long as they give you $59,000, we don't have to pay $16,000 for air tanks for one stuff like that.
Jimmy, we don't just give them the money. The money isn't a fund that it comes out of, so they do have to turn those bills in, and it will come out of, it will be on our report, because she has to pay it out of that.
Okay, well, we got bills in
See,
there,
here
fire
is-
department all the time.
Look at that.
Yeah, I've got the other things.
Hey, don't put that away, Greg, I've got to grab that from you.
Gasoline, supplies, repair, and other, training, telephone, trucks, pagers, radios, and all this and everything. It comes out of 29,000.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
we're all right.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're okay.
So I need
Question
a,
about the termination clause. Is that termination clause 30 days notice just, or is it for terminating during the year, or is it for the renewal? Because if we're paying up front, there should be a prorated reimbursement to Redkey.
So we're paying in arrears
At the end of the year.
at
Yeah,
the end of the
Oh,
year
okay.
for service provided throughout the year.
so we need a motion to go ahead and accept that contract for the fire department, except we will add what in there? The exact number or something?
I read it out loud.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, we have to get the exact number on insurance.
On insurance. So we
I'll
need
make
to
a
get that to
motion
you,
to
and you'll
accept
get
the
me the
contract.
correct. So we have, Gavin made a motion to accept the contract, Jimmy seconded it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nays? Okay, so that's been accepted. Now we need to talk about the ordinance for the chickens. Did you bring an ordinance for the chickens this time? That was supposed to, you were supposed to, according to our last meeting, bring an ordinance for the chickens.
Put it in the fire contract.
Fire, fighting.
While she's looking at that, huh?
She's supposed to bring it up.
Yeah, we were, because we already talked about it, we already said we were gonna do it, we're just waiting for the new ordinance to be typed up, and I know Gavin gave, what was the gentleman that you sent to our last meeting, a copy of, didn't you give him a copy of it, Gavin? Yeah,
I think he may have, but I just didn't forward it to you.
okay.
For purposes of the agenda though, it needs assigned a number and actually be on your agenda so people know you're considering that ordinance.
We can do that twice.
It was on the top of that ordinance, we had it wrote on the top of the ordinance for you guys. You know
No,
what
I mean on the agenda.
I know, it should have been on the agenda too, yes.
The number, whenever we have an ordinance, we should put the number.
The number and the title, so
Yeah.
that people know it's being
Insert
considered.
and title, I'm just gonna write that in here so we know. So, new business, let's discuss, oh, the ARP leftover money, I wanted to talk to, you about that, Mara. So we have now got all the smart meters paid for that was allotted for that, ARP money. And Gloria and I figured it up, and we might be off just a little bit, but close to, there should be like right at maybe $59,000 or $60,000 left. So, which has to be used by December 3rd, we have to have it spent by December 31st. Well,
It has to be obligated.
right, obligated by December 31st. So, if you guys will look at these quotes right here, I did find a nice truck for the town. It's on this, it's a 2022 Ford Super Duty F-250. It's a one-car owner, it's a 6.7 liter V8 with, it's a diesel. It has all the boxes on it. It could be used to plow. I've went over this with Bill. They want $39,500, and that's without me doing them yet. But I want you to look at that and tell me what you all think. I mean, if we should even consider it, because we have to spend that money, have to have that money obligated to spend by December 31st, and we are in desperate need of a decent vehicle for the town.
How many miles is on it?
It's a diesel, mind you, and it has 2,000 miles on it. For a 22, that's very good. Because diesels will go for 300,000 miles or more, you know? So, I mean, everybody can look at it while I'm talking about this other thing. And then, once the smart meters are in, we also have a $20,000 quote here for the antenna that will go on top of the water tower to read all the smart meters from one location instead of having to drive up and down the streets and try to get the antenna to reach. This was something that they wanted to do, but they didn't know if there was going to be enough money to do it. And now that we know that there is enough money to do it, I have talked to everybody, Heather, all of you, I mean, everybody that's involved with the water department. I don't know, I haven't really talked to you, Ted, but it's something that we don't have to drive up and down the streets for. We just go to the water tower and all of the meters will be read at one time, just ping, 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 ping. So, I mean, and then it goes straight to the city building, and then they bill everybody for their water bills. Not only does that, it red flags whether someone, like if there's a leak, it'll red flag it, it'll let them guys know if there's a leak, or if somebody's toilet's running, like Mr. Bruce Grady, he thought there was something going on at his house, and we went down and run one of these tests on his, and sure enough, it showed where the toilet would run, and then it would peak, and then it would run, and then it would peak, so he knows that there's an issue. But it will flag all that so that you don't have to go out now and look for these leaks. It tells her system that there's a leak.
But then in other words, somebody had to come out there and read the tower, see where it was at.
Right now, I have to go around with the tablet and type numbers in for each individual meter, where this will be able to flag because it's reading, I guess it reads every 90 seconds is the way the smart meter guy explained it to us. So this is another thing that we should
She
consider.
would get the notice that there's a leak. And she'd call somebody to come out to the water tower to find out what the leak's at.
Well, the water tower will tell the city building that there is definitely a leak. The city building will let me or Ted or somebody from the water or sewer department know that we have a leak, and then we have to go to the people's house and figure it out, whether it's on our side or their side.
He'll tell you whose people's leak.
Yes.
What would the maintenance be on that? I mean, taking care of that
Yearly
way up
charge on
there.
It plugs into, they never said that there was any, part of their maintenance is part of this money right here. So they already come to our city building and maintain the smart meter supplies, the laptop, the radio, help Billy with stuff, help us with stuff, help me and Heather learn stuff. They already do all that stuff. And that's a part of the quote for paying them. I guess do we have a monthly fee to the smart meter people for maintenance, or a yearly?
We have to look at what we pay so much money to them, but I don't remember the same monthly fee.
Okay.
I have to check.
I mean, there's probably something yearly in these quotes.
Yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
thinking there
yeah.
would be. I mean, I think you'd know more about it, wouldn't you, than,
I have been involved with it.
Yeah.
I've had some everything on
yeah.
You almost said to hire somebody to climb the top of the water tower to maintain those.
Oh, yeah.
Something to find out.
Well,
That's right.
it's not at the top of the wall, it's only 75 feet up, by the way. And, all we have to do is maintain the power supply to this. So there's already a power supply out at the water tower, because it has a power supply. So they said they come out, he'll bring everything down, and then we have to have an electrician take the cord that they have and just put a breaker, put it into the breaker box. That's the only part that there is. The only thing that I can see is if we had a power outage, that's the only time that it's not gonna work, because it has to have power to work. And he said it does not have to have Wi-Fi, so we thought that we were gonna have to put Wi-Fi in this building so that it can be picked up at the water tower, but it does not have to have Wi-Fi, period.
And they maintain that
And they
for
ma-
years, that
As long as we
years?
have them,
That's
you know,
what
we're
I
allowed to
wondered.
call on them anytime, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for a certain fee,
I would think so, yes.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what that fee is.
yeah.
So those are something to consider. I mean, I just know, I see, when's our next meeting?
December
The 19th?
I think it is.
yeah, I think it says on here.
So, I mean, we can, I
Yeah.
don't, can I have some input on what you guys feel about these? Gavin, how do you feel about these things?
Antenna we probably need, yeah, that's a good idea.
Our salt truck has fallen apart, by the way. It's all rusted and it's falling apart. The red truck is falling
The
apart.
white truck has it, what kind of
Medium
shit's in it?
The what?
The white truck, the dump truck, the white.
The dump truck's not doing too bad. His truck, his blue truck is total crap, is it not, Ted? I mean, it leaks oil, you have to keep putting oil in it all the time. He doesn't even trust to take it out of town. So that truck is crap. The red truck that we use for salt and Bill and them use on a regular basis, the boxes are rusting off of it. And I guess when the COVID money first come out, there was enough money to buy 2 new vehicles, but something happened that some paperwork didn't get done or something, and we lost that, or we would have had 2 new vehicles, but now we don't have that option. We have to do what we have to do to buy one.
Add about 3 vehicles from the fire department to that list of struggling vehicles.
What's that?
I
Add
said-
3
I said add about 3 vehicles from the fire department that are on the
To
list
the
of
struggling
busting out
list?
and
Yeah,
struggling,
yeah.
getting older,
yeah.
outdated.
So go ahead, Gavin, your other idea
Other than that, that was all I had.
on the truck, you don't have a say of what you think?
I mean, if we need a truck,
Yeah,
Don't you think we need one, Ted? I mean,
Yeah.
it's definite. I mean, ours are about to take a crap. Jimmy, what do you think about both
You
things?
gotta spend that money before the last of
Yes,
December.
we gotta have
yes.
You gotta have it committed, is that
Yes,
right?
yes.
Committed.
So then
Yes.
if you wanna commit it, then go ahead, I'll make the motion, whatever.
Floyd, what do you think?
You've been looking, I haven't.
Well, I've only been looking because I knew it was a need. Bill told me it was a need, so, I mean, that doesn't mean we're gonna buy it because I would have to take Bill or somebody with me to go drive and see, cause my husband will do it, but I'm not capable of doing that. I mean, I don't know anything about, other than, does it have gas in it, does it have oil in it, and I'm going to my destination, that's what I know about a vehicle.
Are they selling it as is?
But my husband's the one that found this, what?
Are they selling it as is?
No, there's still a warranty with it, yes, yeah.
well, you need to check in on it.
We do, okay, so,
Yeah, I mean, if nobody will say anything, I will.
are you guys okay with me, huh?
All right, go ahead and check in. You need a motion to check into the truck?
I need a motion
She
to do
doesn't-
something, and can I call you guys if we indeed decide that it's a good deal and
If you take a look at it, and you think it's worth that money?
not me, I'll go, but I don't wanna be the
Somebody.
decision maker. I want Bill or somebody that's in that field to be a decision maker.
You
You
should
don't
see the
need a
picture.
motion to go get further quotes and
Okay.
bring them back.
Okay, alright. So
But
can I
in
have
the
a,
meantime, we need to look at the ARP spending plan and make sure
Okay.
it is in alignment with that.
okay, and then on the, can we have a motion for the, radio, thing for the smart meters then? The radio for the tower?
I'll make a motion to get
To get the
Okay.
radio tower, okay?
I second the
And
motion.
Jimmy seconds it. Floyd, are you okay with it, or do you have an
Yeah.
opinion? Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
And any nays? So we are gonna go ahead and put the, antenna up, yeah.
Would it be worth it to use any of the trucks we have to like trade in
Well,
to
what,
help with getting?
What we said was, if we do this, that we would put a bid up to sell our, that's what Bill's recommendation was to put them on Marketplace or whatever, and I know we won't get a lot, but to sell them.
There's a very specific way we have to sell
Okay.
it. We can't just.
All right, okay. However, we would have to go with whatever the attorney says to be able to get rid of them, so. Okay, so that's that, a smart meter antenna quote, redo, Heather's not here. But we have, we do have one of our, constituents out in the community who's been diligently working on getting a lot of quotes that we agreed to a long time ago, to redo the clock tower, the old fire station, period. And our hopes is if we can get the grants that we're thinking we can. I mean, he's already got how much it costs to redo the roof and the outsides and the windows and the painting and everything. And then we have two very good people in Indianapolis who are working on great grants that would pay almost all of that to have it done because of the significance of it. And if we can do that, I'll let you guys know. And if we do, I would hope that maybe we could put the city building back at the old fire station.
That was the first building in Jay County, was a historical building.
Yes.
And it was called the Crown Jewels of Redkey. In 1990, when Ball State kids came over and took a thing, pictures of the whole town and everything.
Yeah.
And that picture, at their town board, I seen it on television out in Iowa. So evidently, when they was going across the country building, they built some more like that. And I'd be willing to, yeah, I'd help with, and there is grants for historical buildings.
Yes, there's a lot of them
I
out
think
there.
the government did it or
Yeah.
not.
Well, we've been working with this
First
one
one buying
group,
or whatever it was, have done the work. You know, they put a new roof on that one side.
right?
That's a brand new roof, I think probably 15 years old. Had to have done that.
Yeah.
So,
Well, everything's been, he covered every part of that building, the electrical, the windows, the roof, the clock tower,
what was his total
everything.
quote is?
I don't have the total because each one gave them to me and I gave them to him to review, and then I'll get them back and bring them to the board because we're not at that. We have one woman in Indianapolis who's working with multiple people across the United States to get us grants to see what we can do about getting it refurbished, because I know that we don't really have the money to do it, so it's gonna take a lot of grants to do that. But if we can get the grants, I think it would be a good idea, but I'm not the only person here. This would
You
be
got one,
a group decision.
I'm with it all the way.
Yeah.
I'm with it all the way.
I have a question. As long as the AARP money has to be appropriated, so like we don't have to decide something specific, we can just say it's going to like a certain like category. We just have to
There
like,
are restrictions on how it can be spent, and part of that is depending on what you guys passed a couple of years ago when it first came through.
We can't change it to use it on the town board meeting or nothing like that once it goes through.
I just mean
Depends on
like
if you
we,
did revenue replacement as a generic line item, then we have some more flexibility,
I
but I
think
have to
that's
look
what
at
it
it.
is.
John Brooks actually, I didn't think we had one, and John Brooks did one for us before he left. Some kind of an ordinance on how it could be appropriated or whatever.
Okay.
And I'll get you.
It says like any legitimate town need or something like that, I think,
Mhm.
but I didn't know if we have
Like
to
it
decide
can't go to
something.
pay debt.
Right, I
things
just
like
mean
that.
like if we're gonna buy a truck and we don't decide exactly which one to get, we can appropriate it to like a truck fund or whatever, like, we haven't spent it, but we're deciding to spend it.
I thought you said we had to have a PO
You
for
have to
it.
be,
It has to be
basically under
specific.
contract to spend,
Okay.
but we'll look at that and see
Okay.
if there are some other options for
Alright.
you, now that you know there's a balance.
Debbie Engel.
I came back in the summertime and was talking about,
Trucks going down the road.
yeah, the trucks and, traffic zooming up and down the road and, you said you was gonna check on that and see if they could put like a temporary,
I actually
Speak
got
up
a
in
hold of
there.
Wes Schemenauer, and he said because there's businesses out there that we cannot do anything to that road to deter their the business of the semis from going up and down that road, but let's talk to her about that. So she is out here on, I think it's High Street, is it
Main
not?
Street.
Main Street. And there's a business that's further out in the country, so they have some trucks that go up and down that road, and she wanted a speed bump put in there.
On the traffic that goes flying by there, it's only 20 miles an hour. But they're not doing 20, and they don't even stop at the stop sign coming into town.
Law enforcement enforcing the speed limit is probably your best deterrent.
All right, I need to, we'll get Mr. Cave on that. For Main
So
Street.
I would say specifically on speed bumps, anyone who has to do the snow plowing is going to tell you, don't put in a speed
Well,
bump.
I figure the summertime is the worst time,
Right.
because that campground out there, and people just go flying through there, and they don't even pay attention.
Right. And then I have another question for you. We have this gentleman that keeps coming in, and he has purchased some kind of a little shed, a little barn-like looking shed. And he keeps asking us if he can live in it. But it's not like foundationed, it's not, I mean, I don't know about like heat or water or sewer or any of that stuff, so how do I address that?
That's county planning and zoning and or county health department, not you.
Okay, so county health department.
I would start with J County planning and zoning though, 'cause
We bought
I
an empty
doubt-
one. We bought a lot that's got water and sewer on it, we tabled it twice, I think. Can you been there twice?
2 or 3 times, yeah.
We tabled it, so-
And I keep telling him I didn't think it was a good idea to live there because I mean, I don't know how they're gonna heat or what they're gonna cook or how they're gonna go to the bathroom or.
He
any
said
of
he
that
was gonna
stuff.
furnish it so
Yeah,
they could
he
use it
did.
as a house.
But what about a foundation? Doesn't it have to be
houses.
secure? I mean, does it have to be attached to the, like, have some kind of an attachment or
the
something?
county has a very lengthy
Okay, so I'll just have
plan
to
and
get a hold
zoning
of.
ordinance,
All right.
that there's probably minimum square footage required of a single family home, it depends how he's zoned.
Even though we don't have zoning in our town, does that? I'm
Doesn't the
ask-
county cover your zoning?
Mm-mm, we have no zoning for Redkey,
No.
0. That's why we were trying to hook up with, listen, that's why we were trying to hook up with Dunkirk to go in together with their zoning, but I guess we don't have the money. We've had them here several times and they're like, you can't afford us, basically, to be able to zone. And so, yeah, we have no zoning here. Sorry.
Okay.
So now what do I tell him?
I don't know. The health department definitely has jurisdiction.
Okay,
I'm
all
sure
right.
there are at least requirements
Okay.
for hooking up to sewage and having
Okay.
a livable space.
Okay.
Beyond that, I'm gonna
Well, it's
do a
not
little
just him, it's
research.
him and his wife, I do believe.
Yes, he
So it's
said
very
that.
concerning for me.
Yeah.
I think the other question, the other direction we look at that is you have a mobile home ordinance, right? And whether that would fall under the mobile home ordinance or whether it
Or do we need to
doesn't
make
because
an
of the
ordinance?
size and everything like that.
Right, right.
Yeah, I think it
kinda
has to
like
be a
what we-
newer mobile home in town now.
Yes,
I know
yes.
Grant
Tiny
has to have
house,
a
I think,
foundation,
you know,
but
I would think it would have to be, have a solid foundation too, because what if you got a storm or anything that could blow, you know?
I thought
Do you have
he
any of the
mentioned
details on this
that.
house? How big it is, what it's made
He
out of?
brought a picture of it, but because you weren't here, I didn't wanna give him any information, but Billy, will you reach out to him and see if he can give us the details of his, don't you have his number? No? Cause he lives here in Redkey, right? Somewhere.
Oh, he does?
Yeah,
Watson or
Watson or something,
Yeah.
yeah.
something.
And he did mention the foundation, and he also mentioned building on to it to make it bigger for a house. He did mention that.
Where he could put all the amenities in there as a house.
But those things are so I just worry about him being in there, but we gotta do whatever we gotta do. I don't know if we need to come up with an ordinance, I don't know what we need to do to address this.
What kind of shed was it? Metal?
He showed pictures.
Tiny
of it.
house.
No, it looked like a little,
looking at it, but he just wanted the okay to like get approved for it so he could
So-
find one that fit him better. I think is
Oh,
what he
okay.
was trying to do, because he had a whole catalog of them.
Yeah, he
But
did.
I think he just wanted the okay before he actually got looking into them more.
Before he bought
I
one.
think so.
I thought he would be here tonight.
Yeah,
Tiny
so
houses or whatever.
he said he had another shed and he wanted to buy a newer shed and back how I thought he said
Okay.
last time,
Okay.
but
Okay.
I'm not for sure.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll address it next meeting when he shows up, and I'll get a hold of the health department. and
But
get
you
him-
can't look anywhere
Okay.
else for the houses here in town, you know? Yeah.
Young man, did you have something to address with the council?
No, I'm here for, government class.
Okay, all right, okay. Is there any, Mark?
Yeah, a couple other things, Santa Claus will be coming to the gazebo uptown day after Thanksgiving, 6 o'clock.
Day after Thanksgiving?
Yep.
Is that brutal?
San Diego,
Is it?
At what time?
6 o'clock.
6 PM.
And there is an event out on Facebook, and I shared that with town hall,
Oh, it is on town hall? Okay, all right.
just an hour or so ago.
Okay.
And then,
She ever finds
That's what we were just talking about. She's looking for that. You?
She was looking.
No,
No?
no.
No? She's gonna have to get
I wouldn't
with,
have a way to print it for you
Right.
anyway.
you're gonna get with whatever, I can't remember the
Austin.
gentleman's. Austin, yeah, she'll get with Austin, okay? All right.
and then also, so we've got the lights put up kind of the Christmas lights. That's something that we're gonna have to look into as well before too long. Those are about 25 years old. We replace about 150 to 200 of the light bulbs on those a year. So we talk about getting some quotes to maybe put LEDs on or something like that.
Are you guys gonna be the ones that get the quotes then for us, Mark? Okay. Fire department to get the quotes?
None of the ones downtown are on right
They usually don't go on until the day after Thanksgiving.
now. Oh, yeah, the
So
ones on.
the other ones, we don't have control, we don't have timers for those to be able to control them.
And what about the light pole in front of you that had something bad? When you guys used the lift, did you figure out what it was and did it get fixed?
I don't know if they did or not. I was in a.
Mark, I'm depressed.
Well, they were planning on going and doing it.
Okay.
I ended up back in my store and they were helping Game News Sorority get the lights around the trees.
Will you let me know if it got done?
And I asked somebody that yesterday and they weren't 100% sure.
It's still Kirkard.
Okay,
It's still Kirkard.
Yeah, it's still cooking. I know Randy said that when he's worked on it before, it's only been just either the globe on top or that top collar, and this one's further down. And just looking at it when we were going through the other day, I mean, it looks like there's a set screw or something there, so it might be needing fixed, but
okay.
I'll come out and look at it whenever they were up.
All right.
Is the light actually, does light?
Yeah, actually,
Oh, okay.
that's pretty much on somebody's head.
Then we have a light pole at by the gazebo that has like 5 different lights in it. They replaced 3 of the lights and within a day or so, 2 of them blew out. They can't even reach the top one because we don't have nothing tall enough to reach it. I did call Shane Brennan and see if he could give us a quote and look at that and see what it would take to fix that pole because the ladies keep calling me all the time to see what we can do about it. Shane hasn't gotten back with me, but I'll have to reach
I
out
do
to
know that there
him.
were some wires inside one of them that were shorting out at one point a year or 2 ago, whenever they were looking into one of them.
Okay.
And one out in front of my building, it wobbled quite a bit.
Okay.
And when it was wobbling the other day, the light was going on and off, so I'm assuming there's probably a short inside of it.
All right. All right, so are we responsible for repairing those though, or do we have anybody that comes and repairs those?
See the street department.
Street, well, we don't have a street department. All right, street department to repair. I guess I will have John Beatty start repairing. And then I had John come in because they were reporting that the microwave kept blowing back here with the GFI breakers, so I did send him to get GFI breakers and replace those, and so all of that's secure back here now and the microwave is working. So that's done. Anything else from anybody else? Jimmy?
Yeah, we started out about 4 months ago, and I was making a motion to give everybody a free water bill for their birthday. I've been keeping track of everything, and we're about $500,000 less than what they blew last year. And then the time what I see right here, I'll read this right here. Next year, we won't have to pay this here. We spent $1,100 for clothing allowance for dogs. And then Zach got us to $4,623.99. And we spent $10,400 EDIC and $5,100 EDIC. And we spent $1,100 for bulk disposal allowance and $3,300 for 3 vests and bulletproof for the police. We spent $16,643.80 for air tanks for the fire department. We spent $980 for 6 new pistols. And then we spent 1,150 bags of concrete, $1,157. And this $33,000 was for them people hanging pictures up there, and we might spend that next year. So that's $82,953.80 that we won't have to spend next year. We spent $500,000 less than our town board spent last year. So I'm gonna make a motion if I can get it. So we have a motion in the second and the table on that their birthday. I'm gonna make a motion that we give everybody free water, sewage, water and trash pickup for Christmas, just say Merry Christmas. Read the meters, and I'm gonna make a motion to do that. And we have a motion and a second.
I don't
Give
think we had
everybody
a
their
second
birthday.
the last time.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
And you tabled it. Yeah.
Okay, so
Because
you've
you
made a
wanna wait and see-
motion.
Now wait, you want to wait and see how we come out on our,
Have you figured out how much it would cost the town to
We
give
can't
everybody, yeah, to give everybody a free water bill? Have you figured out because you're so good with numbers, tell me how much it would cost to give,
it ain't gonna cost,
511 people a free water
it
bill?
ain't gonna cost me $300,000.
It's quite close to that, I figured it out, 200 and some $1,000.
If that be the case, then you're picking up about $4 million for water bills.
Okay,
Okay,
so,
I made a motion. We made one about 4 months ago.
okay.
And
How
we
about
seconded-
a discount on them?
And was it actually tabled?
It was tabled.
We
Then
did.
you need a motion and a second to bring it back from the table for consideration.
Okay, and you said that we'd wait to see whenever we have this year audit.
And they're just now doing it, so we don't even have the results of the audit yet.
And now, we do know that we got $200-some thousand out there auditing in 2021 for EDIC money out
But the
there.
EDIC money is not our money, Jimmy.
It should be the people's and Redkey's money.
It's a different entity. You seen the paperwork yourself. It's for Redkey EDIC and Jay County EDIC. We do have State Board of Accounts here auditing that, and we do have the financial aspects of that now. We know exactly how much is in the EDIC. There is no denying that.
How much is in it?
About $300,000.
Well, now, 21 was 200-some thousand. We're getting $10,000 a month. And $8,000.
But they still lend money out for people to bring businesses into the town.
So far, what we've seen is 4 deposits, and then every 3 months, we see $2,700 taken out.
Okay.
Anyway, then but she said that in order to table it, if something's tabled, we have
You
a
have to
motion
bring
and
it back
second
from
to
the
table.
table.
So we'd have to start all over. again,
So
right?
you have to make a
So I
motion.
make a motion to give everybody free water.
No, you have to
You
make
have to make a motion to remove it from the table.
Here,
Okay.
here.
One thing to consider is during the water audit from 2023, we lost $80,000 from the water plant. The water plant, based on all of the water that was made, we lost $80,000 in 2023. And second of all, if we are applying for grants to do any kind of repair work and stuff, we have to show that we are good stewards of the water plant and we are actually fiscally responsible. By doing this, it may severely hamper our ability to get grants.
Yes.
Again, that's just something to throw out there, not just for the council's consideration before making any motions.
But we're technically out of order even discussing it since it hasn't been brought back from the table for discussion.
So make a motion to bring giving somebody that back to the table.
Okay, I'll make a motion to give somebody back that money from the table. The motion that was made 4 months ago to give everybody water and sewage and I think for the birthday.
So then you
And a
need
second
to
to
see
table.
if there's
I'll
a
make a
second
motion.
to bring it back.
Is there a second to bring it back?
Okay, is it dead in the water? That's all of them?
We don't even know how much our budget is right now. We're just learning this stuff. But
We
I'm
should
telling you,
have it.
you need to try to figure it out. Say somebody pays, okay, like my water bill is almost $200 a month, but I have 3 people in my house. Even if you have 2 people in your house, we'll say that the water bill is $170 a month, and you take that and you multiply it by 512, what do we have, 512 meters? Roughly 512 meters, and you say an average of bill is $170 $170, $180. How much is you guys' water bills?
$260.
You
I'd
pay
say average is about
Yeah.
250.
Gavin pays $260, I pay $200. How much, I mean, most people, if they have anybody else in their house, so we're gonna say $180. So what'd you come up with? Did you figure it out? Yeah.
I was doing some, but discussion of the topic is so
Oh.
out of order procedurally.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm
'cause
sorry,
there's
I'm
no
sorry.
motion.
Okay.
Well, then
all right.
Jeff, tell me next month, then how much everybody's water bill, that's all I ask.
Tell you that,
If it's dead in the water, and we didn't wanna
Depends on
give people
how
free
many
water, sewage for Christmas, and we don't wanna do it for their birthdays, that's fine with me.
okay, all right.
You
Next
know, we
month,
started
no, what
doing
does he
that.
want to know next month?
Huh?
What did he say?
Tell
We
tell
started
her,
out January first with $2,099,000. Now we got $2,700,000 something. So how we do this year, we did real good. We come out about $500,000 better than we did last year. And then that's not counting the EDIC money, which was
Let's buy
$200,000.
some new playground equipment instead.
That was Norfolk and Southern, gave us $50,000 for that. They could, somebody in five,
all right, so if there's no more questions, we're going to adjourn this meeting.